distinguished viewers, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about my favorite books, because one can never read enough. I want to start with The Night Circus. Mostly I love this book because of the vibes in there. I mean, The Night Circus is already hinting that there are a lot of circus and like bubblegum and colorful, misty vibes, magical vibes, you know what I'm getting at. There is a love story in there, which is very like slow burn and very hide and seek and mystical. But the way this is written was just so entertaining to me because Erin Morgenstern is distributing the chapters very interestingly. So there's like a framing story that's framing everything up, and once you get to the end, like, it's so satisfying how it all comes together. I'm very bad at describing plots, so let me read the blurb. The circus arrives without warning. No announcements preceded. It is simply there, when yesterday it was not. It is called Le Cirque des Rêves, and it is only open at night. Behind the scenes, a fierce competition is underway, a duel between two young magicians, Celia and Marco, who have been trained since childhood expressly for this purpose by their mercurial instructors. Unbeknownst to them, this is a game in which only one can be left standing, and the circus is but the stage for a remarkable battle of imagination and will. Despite themselves, however, Celia and Marco tumble headfirst into love, a deep, magical love that makes the lights flicker and the room grow warm whenever they so much as brush hands. So, that was that. This next one is a classic. It's Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. This is very whimsical and warm. Like, I'm describing vibes again, you know what I mean? So this is about Anne and her teenage years, and I think she's being sent to her aunt and uncle that she has not known before. So it's kind of like found family vibes, and yeah, it's just very heartwarming how she gets to know them and how the relationship kind of grows, and also the way nature is described in this. It's just so cute, like, it's very springy. I think this is a good spring and summer book because, yeah, the nature, that's all I'm saying. Nature is important, you know. It's depicted very well. This does not have a blurb, but it says, life is worth living as long as there's a laugh in it. Oh yeah, and also, yeah, it's a very emotional story, so I read this on an airplane on our way back from summer vacation, and I cried like 3 times, okay? I mean, I'm a person that cries a lot, so it's not very surprising, but it's a good story. It's cute. I really enjoy this. Yeah. Very good, very good. Okay, let me see which one's next. Oh yeah, speaking of found family, The House in the Cerulean Sea by DJ Klune is so cute. Like, the story, I don't know how to describe it. It's wonderful. Like, there are children involved, a lot of children. But in this book they are very realistic and very funny and cute, and yeah, I really enjoyed that. This is also like a gay love story, and oh my god, it's so cute. Let me read it. He expected nothing, but they gave him everything. Linus Baker leads a quiet life. At 40, he has a tiny house with a devious cat and his beloved records for company. And at the department in charge for magical youth, he spent many dull years monitoring the orphanages. Then one day, Linus is summoned by extremely upper management and given a highly classified assignment. He must travel to an orphanage where 6 dangerous children reside, including the Antichrist. There, Linus must somehow determine if they could bring on the end of days. But their guardian, charming and enigmatic Arthur Parnassus, will do anything to protect his wards. As Arthur and Linus grow ever closer, Linus must choose between duty and his dreams. Yeah, it's a very warm story. And very well written, and yeah, I just really enjoyed this. I read this in like 2 days. Couldn't put it down. I guess this is like contemporary fantasy, because I really love when stories are set in the modern world, but there's like an underworld of magic and fairies or whatever, you know, kind of like Harry Potter. Okay, so this next one is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, Creative Living Beyond Fear. So this is kind of like my Bible. It's for the creatives out there, because she is describing how to be a creative person, basically, and how like inspiration is working. How you have to have a bit of courage, but how it's not a bad way of living if you decide to be creative only in your free time, and if you do not want to do it as your job, because that builds up a lot of pressure, doesn't it? So yeah, this was just like a warm blanket. Like, it's very encouraging to read this. And yeah, you should all read it if you are a little bit creative. It says, readers of all ages and walks of life have drawn inspiration from Elizabeth Gilbert's book for years. Now this beloved author shares her wisdom and unique understanding of creativity, shattering the perceptions of mystery and suffering that surrounds the process, and reminding us all just how easy it can be. By sharing stories from her own life as well as those from her friends and the people who have inspired her, Elizabeth Gilbert challenges us to embrace our curiosity, tackle what we most love, and face down what we most fear. I really love the cover. It's very colorful. version, and I heard that this book is going to be turned into a movie as well very soon with Ryan Gosling as the main protagonist. This book, like at the beginning, I don't read a lot of science fiction, so at the beginning there was a lot of like physics and science involved, and I was like, oh my god, I cannot follow. I left school a while ago, so what is he talking about? And I was kind of lost. But then I got into it because the way this is written is also very train of thought and very simple. So I could understand it. But yeah, it was a bit too much sciencey at the beginning. But it turned out to be a very great story. I did not see it coming. And yeah, it was just a great ride. I enjoyed going on this ride. Also, I cried. Okay. Yes, I cried for a science fiction book. I don't know, it was so good, guys. I could not put it down. It's Barack Obama's book of the year. I don't know which year, but I mean, when did it come out? Wait a second. 2021. Okay, so Barack Obama has good taste, apparently. A lone astronaut, an impossible mission, an Ellie he never imagined. Ryland Grace is the sole survivor on a desperate last chance mission. And if he fails, humanity and the Earth itself will perish. But right now he doesn't know that. All he knows is that he's been asleep for a very, very long time, and he's just woken to find himself hurtling through space, millions of miles from home. It's up to him to puzzle out an impossible scientific mystery, and he's got to do it all alone. Or does he? Well, you're going to have to read it to find that one out. Yeah, no, this was very good. And I think about this book like multiple times a week. It was very moving and funny. Yeah, really love this. And it also, like, it felt like a movie, okay? Like, it's a good idea to turn this into a movie. Okay. So this next one is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. This has also been turned into a movie, and the movie is also very good. Please watch it if you have not already. This is a book that has everything. Like, it's got romance, it's got drama, it's a thriller, it's got crime, there's a bit of mystery in there. Yeah, it was very satisfying to read. I just love this one. And also, there's a lot of nature, because this is set in North Carolina in, like, what is it? Is it a swamp? No, it's a marsh. So yeah, there's a lot of water, imagery, and birds, and such. So I really enjoyed that. So it says, for years, rumors of the Marsh Girl have haunted Barkley Cove, a quiet town on the North Carolina coast. So in late 1969, when handsome Chase Andrews is found dead, the locals immediately suspect Kaya Clark, the so-called Marsh Girl. But Kaya is not what they say. Sensitive and intelligent, she has survived for years alone in the marsh that she calls home, finding friends in the gulls and lessons in the sand. Then the time comes when she yearns to be loved. When two young men from town become intrigued by her wild beauty, Kaya opens herself to a new life until the unthinkable happens. please read it if you have not already. Surprise, I did not cry with this book. But I guess that also can be a good thing. And the last one that I want to present to you today is The Shadow of the Wind by Ruiz Zafón. This author can write so well. Like, the way he writes is just so vivid and interesting and creative. This is a pretty gothic story. It's set in Barcelona in the 1940s. And this book also has got everything. It's got romance, it's got crime, mystery, of course, and yeah, it's everything you ever want in a book. This is also a book about a book, because it's about this teenager who finds a book and then decides to find out everything about this book and the author of the book. Yeah, and then he's going on a wild ride. But let me read the story to you, or the blurb. One cold morning in 1945, a man brings his 10-year-old son, Daniel, to a labyrinthine library of forgotten titles hidden in the old city of Barcelona. Allowed to choose one book, Daniel pulls out The Shadow of the Wind by Julian Carax. But as Daniel grows up, several people seem inordinately interested in his find. What begins as a case of literary curiosity turns into a race to discover the truth about the life and death of Julian Carax and to save those he left behind. Even Stephen King has left a review. He says, "Shadow is the real deal, a novel full of cheesy splendor and creaking trapdoors, a novel where even the subplots have subplots. In Zafón's hands, every scene seems to come from an early Orson Welles movie. One gorgeous read." Yeah, this is very amazing. Also, the dialogue in this is just so sassy and sarcastic. I just love that, and very funny as well in some places. Yeah, it's got everything. I love when books have humor and tragedy in one, you know. That's all you ever want. So I can really recommend this if you have not read this. This is quite an older book. I think this came out like in the early 2000s. Not sure. Also, this is the first in a series of books. I think there were three more. Yeah, three more and a novella. After I finished this, I went out and bought all of the 4 other books, of course, because I was obsessed. I'm out of adjectives. Love this. So these were my most favorite books at the moment. For obvious reasons, I left out Harry Potter and The Lord of the Rings, because I guess the whole world knows these books, so I don't need to talk about them anymore. But these were my holy grails when I grew up, you know. I've ordered far too many books in the last few days, so maybe I will do like a book haul or whatever soon. But these I can recommend wholeheartedly for anyone. Oh my god, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got inspired by some of these. I know they're not the most soon.